Hey everybody, I'm Lex and welcome to Words of This Life.
I'm gonna run, and even if I fall, I know I'll be safe in my skin. Hey, hey,
Okay, so I'm back and it's been a few months. Maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't notice at all, but it's been a few months. And there's a number of reasons for that. I got sick at the beginning of March, and then all of the COVID stuff started to happen, and then my youngest stopped napping, which was really a bummer because it was during his nap time that I would record. And thankfully, though, after about 6 weeks of just not napping for some reason, he started napping again. So it was a weird little phase, but I'm really grateful. He's napping right now. Hopefully, he'll stay asleep. We'll see. And then I started counseling, and I've been in counseling for about 7 weeks now, and honestly, so much stuff was just coming up and coming to the surface. And yeah, those are all of the reasons, maybe excuses, I don't know, but we were just in a really weird season, and I feel like things are kind of starting to go back to normal a little bit now. So I thought that I would come back with a new background. This is a curtain, by the way, in case you're wondering. I looked into wallpaper, I looked into tapestries, all sorts of things, and this was the design that I like the most. So if you really want to know, it is stuck to the wall with those 3M Velcro strips. So we do it big around here. That's how we do it around here. So, and I have some pillows and I have a plant. I'm not sure if the plant is going to remain, but the plant is a part of my video today. So I'll go ahead and jump right into all of that. Today's video is about things that remind me of prison. Exhibit A is this lovely elephant ear, and you might be wondering how in the world an elephant ear could remind me of prison, but let me just go ahead and explain. When I was on the work squad in prison, we left the prison every day and we went, and if you've ever seen the teams of inmates in their outfits cleaning the road, picking up trash, mowing, that sort of thing, we did that. We did a lot of different things, but there were these areas that were kind of swampy areas. This is all in Florida, and there were water moccasins in there. Lots of water moccasins, but there were these areas that were like a giant ditch, and we would have to get onto the sides or even into the ditch and weed whack with a weed whacker, like a giant weed whacker, a big, I don't know, industrial weed whacker, I don't know what you would call it, and we would have to just chop everything down. And so this was like public areas in a city that just needed to be maintained, and they thought that we were the best people for the job, I guess. There were these few different areas that had just tons of elephant ears. And elephant ears in and of themselves are not bad. This one I love. Let me slide it on over here. This is my indoor elephant ear. It's very nice. Take a look at that there. Got a new little growth coming out here. I don't know if you can see that. These do really well outside typically from what I understand, but I have kept mine inside. And when I tried to put it outside, it started to burn and die. So I brought it back inside and it's doing wonderfully now. But anyway, that's not the point of the story. So elephant ears, and I don't know if this is all of them. The elephant ears that we were cutting down in Florida in these large ditches full of water and water moccasins and other water dwelling creatures, I'm sure, were full of a sticky, itchy sap that when you got it on your skin would burn. Now I have pruned this plant before, and I've done it with gloves and without gloves, and it hasn't really burned me. But these particular ones, when we would chop them down with these weed whackers, the pieces would just fly, and the liquid inside of them would just come and hit our faces, hit our chests. And so we actually got these like hazmat suits, and we would have to put on these white marshmallow looking hazmat suits that was just, keep in mind, this is in Florida in the middle of summer, and so it's 95, 98 degrees, and you have this big plastic suit thing on, but it would still hit our faces and our necks, and it would sit right there, and then with our sweat, beautiful image, I know, but with our sweat it would just drip down into all of the places on us. And so by the time that we were done, and it burned, it wasn't just like, oh, that's uncomfortable, it burned. The only way to make the burning go away was alcohol. So we would douse these towels or paper towels, whatever we could get, with alcohol and just hope that somehow the sweat would make the alcohol drip down and alleviate all of the burning. The next thing that reminds me of prison is burpees. And to be completely honest with you, I don't think I even knew what a burpee was before I went to prison. And we didn't call them burpees, we called them squat thrusts. Squat thrusts. Squat thrusts. If you were on the youth offender, the YO side of the prison, and I've shared about this in a previous video, you could go back and hear about my time in the youthful offender program. And if you got dropped, you would have to do push-ups or squat thrusts. And so now I do workout videos, and a lot of them require squat thrusts, otherwise known as burpees. Nobody in the workout video world seems to call them squat thrusts, so I don't know what that was about. But anyway, now every time that I have to do one, I just kind of dread it because I think about being dropped and having to do squat thrusts. And I remember if I wasn't doing them, almost at any given time, pretty much, you could walk across the compound and see someone with one of their colored hats on. Again, you could learn about that in my YO program video, being dropped and doing either push-ups or squat thrusts. Another thing that reminds me of prison is Dial antibacterial soap, just the regular Dial, the orange one. You probably all know what I'm talking about. Again, when I was on the work squad, we did a bunch of different things, but there was a place that we went to that was the water reclamation facility in the area that we were in. And we would have to go inside, and I think it was one of the days, one day a week, we would have to go in and clean that place that we very lovingly called the poop plant. So if you know anything about water reclamation facilities, that's what they're doing, is cleaning the water that comes in from the gross places. Gross places is the very scientific term for it, by the way. And they had this soap there. It was there for the people that worked there to wash their hands, but we would wash our hands with it as well. And now every time that I smell that soap, I am transported back to the poop plant. Yay! Thank you, olfactory memory. Is that what it's called? When a scent reminds you of a memory, olfactory memory. But anyway, when you smell something and it takes you back, that's exactly what's happening here. So that Dial soap, antibacterial, orange stuff smell takes me right back to cleaning the poop plant. The next thing that reminds me of prison is biscuits and gravy. Biscuits and gravy. Now, I'm probably going to get some flack for this if any of you have been in prison and had the biscuits and gravy there. That, I don't remember if we called it this or they called it this. SOS. S on a shingle. Let's just leave it at that. I thought the SOS was delicious. Sunday mornings we could choose to go to breakfast or not go. That was the only meal that we were allowed to skip. And I did not ever want to skip that. I loved the biscuits and gravy. Now, the biscuits, you know, compared to real biscuits, probably not that great. The gravy, you know, it's prison, right? But now when I eat good biscuits and gravy, which is rare, unfortunately, but for example, Cracker Barrel, if I eat biscuits and gravy from Cracker Barrel, I just remember, I remember the biscuits and gravy in prison. Another thing that reminds me of prison is Pilates. Yes, another exercise-related thing. I used to do a lot of Pilates in prison. We would meet under this covered area that I can't remember, pavilion. I think it was pavilion. Some of this stuff is so gone from my mind. It's amazing that I spent 3 years there and I can't remember just names for things. And we would meet under there and do different workouts. We would do step aerobics, we would do Pilates. I actually really enjoyed Pilates back then, unlike the squat thrusts / burpees that I did not enjoy then and still don't enjoy now. But I loved Pilates back then and I still love it now. And I do absolutely think about it every time that I do anything Pilates related. It's hard not to, I guess. Another one, a kind of fun one, music related, is, what's the song called? I don't know if it's called Boots with the Fur. But you should all know what I'm talking about just by saying Boots with the Fur. I apologize if I'm offending anybody by calling it the wrong name. And I don't hear that song very often, but if I do, it reminds me of, yet again, my days on the work squad, because we made up, I think it was me. I don't want to take all of the credit, but I do feel like I came up with it. Maybe I'm wrong. If there were other people too, I'm sorry. Oh, you know the song. I'm gonna sing our version of the song. And then I'll explain a little bit better for context. Dun 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 dun. She got them blue and white pants and the boots with the dirt. The whole town was looking at her. She hit the road. Next thing you know, that grass got low, 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 low. I can't believe I just did that on video and that I'm gonna post this on the internet for the world to see, but there you have it. There's the song that we made up. Blue and white pants. Our outfits were blue shirts with blue pants with a white stripe down the side. Boots with the dirt. We wore these black work boots and they got covered in dirt because we were on the work squad. The whole town was looking at her. Indeed, the whole town would be looking at us when they would drive by, and we're just out there, bunch of ladies cutting, mowing, picking up trash, whatever it is that they wanted us to do that day. She hit the road. We got out of the van with our gear, hit the road. Next thing you know, that grass got low, 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 low. So we were out there cutting grass with our giant weed whackers, and I really hope that I do not get sued for that melody, turning that melody into a completely different song. So should I cut that? I think it'll be okay. It's funny, right? It's a prison story. Who's gonna get mad about that? It's a prison story. Let's see what else. I did not write a script for myself this time because I just wanted it to kind of flow freely. And now I'm kicking myself because I don't remember, and I've been planning this video in my head for months and thinking, oh, I need to add that to the list, I need to add that to the list. And now I'm not remembering the things that I wanted to share. Oh, I know. Music, another music related one. So being in prison for 3 years, there was a lot of music that I listened to, that we listened to during that time. And I listened to a little bit of everything back then. Rap is not a musical genre, in case you were not aware of that. Rock, hip hop, techno, pop, not really country. But anyway, there were a lot of songs that we listened to during that time that either came out then or that were popular then. And so if I'm out just anywhere and I happen to hear one of those, it's like instant flashback. It's not even like a conscious thing. It just comes to my head of like, this was out when I was in prison. I don't know, music was really impactful, always has been, you know, still is for me today. And I think that for myself, and probably for a lot of other people too, it was something that we used to really get through the time that we had there. And I used to have friends print out and mail me song lyrics. I don't know why, but I had this huge folder just full of song lyrics. It's not like I didn't know the words already. It was just like I liked having them there. I liked having the words. And then I was writing my own poems and songs and all of that too. So I just had this big folder full of things that I would either read over other people's music or write my own. Just a quirk, I don't know. Oh, I have another one. Head and Shoulders shampoo. Now, this one I am not entirely positive about because I don't remember for certain, and I guess I probably should have asked someone before I made this, but oh well. I don't remember for certain if we had Head and Shoulders shampoo in prison, but I would imagine that we did, because if I open a bottle of Head and Shoulders shampoo, it's like, okay, you know the commercials where somebody is washing their hair and then all of a sudden they're in like this waterfall in a jungle somewhere and they're just loving it. Well, when I use Head and Shoulders shampoo, I sniff in and all of a sudden I'm back in a prison shower. So thanks again to the sense of smell that triggers a memory. All right, well, I guess that is all for today. I am pretty certain that as soon as I turn this camera off, I'm going to remember other things that were on my mental list that's probably part of the problem, is that I didn't write them down. I put them on a mental list and half of them are gone now, but I feel like I got some good ones today. There's definitely other things that remind me of prison. And if you have been in jail or prison and you have things that trigger memories of prison for you, that you're like, yes, that smell, that sound, that sight, whatever it is that takes you back, I would love to hear about those things for you. So please feel free to share those in the comments, and I would love to read about them. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. And if you have been here before, thank you so much for coming back and for listening to me. I really appreciate it. And I would be so grateful if you would like and subscribe. And please, of course, feel free to share this video if you would like to do that. Thanks so much, and I hope to see all of you again next time on Words of This Life.